This is the GTN Show, and this week we are live from the Ironman European Championships here in Frankfurt, and actually currently on course awaiting the lead men to come through. But boy, is it a hot one.
It sure is, Mark, but we're going to be bringing you some on-site race reports, plus we're going to be discussing the extreme temperatures that we're feeling right here in Frankfurt, but of course, all our usual features too.
Now, and as we present the show right now, you may be able to hear the slight hum of a helicopter in the background. And that is because Jan Frodeno and Sebastian Kienle have just gone whizzing past on the other side of the river, so the helicopter's tracking them, and it is close at the moment.
Sure is, so we've got a really exciting marathon to unfold in front of us by the looks of it.
Yeah, well, now back on topic and back to the show, you may be aware and heard of, or perhaps even experiencing firsthand, the slight heat wave that a lot of Central Europe are experiencing right now. Temperatures are absolutely scorching, which obviously sounds great for donning your summer gear and getting some nice sunny miles in, but for those that might be racing at the moment, it's going to be pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a slight heat wave, Mark, but it is a really important topic for discussing actually, because right now actually is Ironman France, or currently happening is Ironman France in Nice, and they've actually had to shorten that event, or Ironman have shortened it to the usual swim, but 150k bike and 30k on the run. And that was actually imposed by the French government because the record temperatures that they're getting in some parts of France, upwards of 44, 45 degrees Celsius, which is extremely hot temperatures. So the French government have actually cancelled an awful lot of public events, but Ironman were able to carry on with this reduced distance in Ironman France because they had a backup measure in place.
Yeah, whilst over here in Germany, they've gone ahead with the full distance despite it being absolutely baking, which, we'll be honest, has surprised us both a little bit, actually.
Yeah, it has. I mean, as Mark says, we're here in Germany where it's really hot, but a lot of these athletes that are racing in Frankfurt right now will be German, or from countries like ourselves that are just not used to these sorts of extreme temperatures. And I think the fact that they're having to compete in this and run out and do a marathon in what is now the hottest part of the day is something that I would not be relishing if I was here.
Yeah, now in fairness to Ironman, they have made some slight provisions, so just to kind of limit those issues and for the safety point of view, one of which is actually slightly rerouting the course to take in a little bit more shade, particularly on the run.
Yeah, but it has got us thinking, I wonder even if Ironman are under, or feel obliged, or under some form of pressure to make sure the race carries on with that true Ironman distance of 3.8k, 180k, and then the 42k marathon, regardless of the extra climatic conditions that are supporting the event, I guess.
Yeah, and we actually have spoken to quite a few of the pro athletes before this event, and they were definitely airing their concern, actually, when feeling like they felt the course should be shortened, which is, you know, for that to come from the pros is quite something. But then for those amateur athletes that
who are going to be out there for hours and hours longer, and even more concern from a lot of those athletes that we had a quick chat to yesterday as well.
But that's just a handful of people. Are actually some people out there going, no, I would feel cheated if I didn't do the full Ironman distance, despite of the conditions. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to ask you guys out there now. Would you be happy if Ironman actually shortened the Ironman distance for an event for the athlete's safety? And it's just a simple yes or no. You can enter that poll by clicking on the link just above my head.
Right, so going back to last week's poll where we asked you, do you think that Alistair Brownlee is the most all-rounded triathlete? Well, our results were fairly clear-cut, weren't they, Mark?
Yeah, so it was 40% one way and 60% the other way. What way do you reckon it went?
I would say people do think that Alistair's a rounded triathlete, so give me a...
You are right. It was 60% went to Alistair Brownlee being the most all-rounded triathlete. Yeah, I was actually surprised by going by the comments. Actually, a lot of people suggesting other athletes, but
well,
yeah.
There's lots of good examples. People like Javier Gomez, but I mean, let's be honest, Alistair Brownlee, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, on his way to Kona. Yeah, he's done a lot.
Yeah, all in one season as well. Anyway, it is getting super exciting here right now. They're going to have Jan Frodeno and Sebastian Kienle coming through very soon, so I think we should head away, have a little look at the race, and we'll come back to you later.
We'll tell you about it.
All right, so a little update on the men's race as it goes on. So Jan Frodeno has been through. Sebastian Kienle, I believe this is Joe's skipper coming through right now. No, that's not. That is Philip. There we go. Well done on the name there. Actually, a bit of drama on the bike because Jan Frodeno, actually, his back wheel slipped out on one of the corners. Went in with a little bit too much speed, perhaps. had to go over a curb and then ended up going through a field, a bit Lance Armstrong-esque. Lost a bottle. There was Joe Skipper, who is making incredible time, actually. He's riding one of the fastest on the course. He went from about 16th out of the swim and now up into 4th place, which is, wow, phenomenal.
This is really painful stuff to watch. Patrick Lange has been stopped here for minutes now. There's no support, no motorbike tech at all. And as we stand here, he is fumbling with tyre levers, desperately trying to get his tyre off his wheel, but he isn't getting that off in any hurry, as I can see. And the crowd are really getting behind him, but that's not going to help him concentrate to get that tyre off. So I feel for him. He's going to be out of the race now in terms of trying to focus for the win, but let's hope he actually gets that thing changed and back on his bike.
Okay, so quick update on the women's race. We've had Imogen Simmons going through, who's absolutely flying, and now we've got this pack of women about 7 minutes behind. Daniel Blemel, Amelia Watkinson, Sky Munch.
Yes, Sarah True.
Yeah, Sarah True.
One more athlete too.
Who don't know who it is, but Sarah True's lost a bit of time since the swim. She seems to be going backwards, unfortunately. But I mean, Imogen Simmons absolutely flying, right?
Yeah, at one point it seemed like she was riding fairly comparably to a lot of the lead men, which is very fast riding.
Yeah, so we're about, well, just over halfway through the bike at the moment, so see you a little bit later on.
Okay, now just a final update on how the race has all unfolded, because when we last updated you, in the women's race, Imogen Simmons was leading the bike quite substantially as well.
She was, but quite a lot of drama unfolded thereafter. So Imogen actually started to lose a lot of time towards the end of the bike and was caught by a group of girls literally as they hit T2, which included Sarah True, included Amelia Watkinson, Sky Munch as well. And they all started running together essentially as a pack of 4, almost like an ITU race. And that was the start of the run, but Sarah True really established the lead very quickly, didn't she?
Yeah, and I think we all sort of assumed that it was a done deal for her. She looked very comfortable, very strong, and opened up a big gap. So I think at one point there was about a 5-minute gap of advantage over the 2nd place runner. But it all changed again tonight.
Yeah, we made our way back towards the finish line, expecting to see Sarah True come in as the winning athlete, but unfortunately she really started to suffer from the heat and apparently a lack of nutrition in the last lap of the run and was wobbling all over the place. It was really, really awful to watch on the big screen at the finish area because we didn't actually see Sarah True come into the finish because she got to about 40k, agonisingly close to the finish, and unfortunately toppled over and was carried off by medical off course and didn't complete the course.
Yeah, but then this obviously opened up for Sky Munch to come through and take that 1st place spot. Imogen Simmons took 2nd, which again was a bit of a surprise. I think we all assumed after drifting back on the bike that actually maybe this was race over or we were going to see her falling back through the places. So yeah, very impressive result for her as well.
And with 3rd place across the line going to Jen Annette from Canada. Now, as for the men's race, well, when we stopped talking about that, we had a really exciting race starting to unfold, didn't we? Because we had Sebi Keenly closing in pretty quick on Jan Frodeno.
He did. He got it down to around 20 seconds, and then it started to just eat away very, very quickly at that point. Half marathon point, Sebastian managed to catch up with Jan and take the lead. And again, I think we all assumed this is a done deal. Sebastian's got the win here. Jan's probably going to just continue to drift back.
Yeah, well, that's what it appeared because he closed that gap pretty quickly on Jan. But then the two of them had a bit of a chat. Be interested to know what they chatted about for a couple of kilometres or thereabouts. And then Jan decided, I'm pulling away again, and off he went. And that really was the end of the race for first in terms of those two battling it out. Jan established a pretty sizable gap, good 3-4 minutes, maybe even closer to 5 at some point by the end of the run. And yeah, Jan took another win here in Frankfurt, defending his title from last year. Sebi Keenly coming across in 2nd, and young German athlete Franz Loesch in 3rd.
Who we didn't actually predict, did we?
No. Right, so now for other race news, because there was a lot of other races happening this weekend. Ironman France in these, shortened Ironman France actually, 150k bike and 30k run. Now on the men's side, we had the win going to James Kunema from South Africa. We had French athlete Kevin Roonstadler taking 2nd, and 3rd, Fred van Leer was the long-time leader of the race, but he fell apart somewhat on the run, fell back to 3rd.
Yep, and now over on the women's side, it was Carrie Lester that took the overall win. Tinny Deckers taking 2nd place, and then Manon Jeanette taking 3rd.
So now for some off-road racing, because we had Xterra Switzerland from the Valley de Joux happening this weekend. We had the win going to Cedric Frissiers, Second place, Cedric Fleurton. And to complete a French clean sweep, we had Corentin Duclos.
And in the women's race, it was Camille Defer that took the win. Ladina Bus took second, and then Isabelle Ferrer took third.
Now for another change in distance over the weekend, we had Ironman 70.3 Steelhead happening in America. And indeed, it was an American who took the men's victory, Andrew Starkovich having another powerhouse performance on the bike. My good friends Joe Gambles came second, he's from Australia, and third went to Taylor Reid from Canada.
And in women's race, it was Jackie Herring that took the win. Meredith Kessler took second, and third went to Didi Greisbauer.
So continuing the 70.3 results, we had Ironman 70.3 Finland, and they decided to take advantage of being land of the midnight sun and started at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, with the men's race being won by Daniel Bakegaard from Denmark. We had second place going to Nick Castellan from Australia, and third was Manuel Kung from Switzerland.
Yeah, and over on the women's side, it was a fantastic performance by a good friend of ours, Indy Lee, that took that win, and being a relative novice to the middle distance, fantastic result for her. Second place went to another Brit, Katrina Wright, also superb performance for her, and third went to Kaiser Sally.
So stepping down in distances yet again, we had the next round of the ITU WTS series in Montreal, and we had a really exciting race there in the men's race because we had a brand new winner in Helle Geens from Belgium taking the win. Second place, we saw the re-emergence of Mario Mola back in the thick of things. Third place was Tyler Mislashuk, which is the first Canadian podium at this WTS level in a whole decade. So that's a fantastic result for him. Fourth place went to Richard Murray from South Africa, and fifth from Norway was Christian Blumenfeld, and great to see them back in the thick of it.
Yeah, definitely. We haven't seen them around for a while, actually, so that's great to see them there. In the women's race, it was another dominant performance by Casey Spears, further extending her lead on the WTS standings. What a season she's having. Second place went to Georgia Taylor-Brown off her win at Leeds just a couple of weeks ago, so another brilliant performance by her, and then third went to Jess Learmonth.
The final 70.3, which has literally just finished as we're filming this now, it was in Coeur d'Alene in the US, and we had an Australian clean sweep on the men's side of things. Tim Reed, former world champion, took that win. Sam Appleton, great to see him back racing after an injury, and in second and third place went to Josh Amberger.
Yeah, in the women's race, it was Heather Jackson that took the win, Mirinda Carfrey taking second, and then Heather Vertal taking third.
So a couple bits of tri news for you now. And first up is from ROKA, which is their first entering into the swim run market, which we're quite excited about because we've both done a little bit of that in the past. So this is their new Maverick swim run wetsuit, and it comes in at $500. So that's a pretty good price point for these types of wetsuits. It's got all the bits and pieces that you'd expect from a swim run wetsuit. It's got a front zipper for ease of access to take it on and off in between the swim run segments. It's got graduated neoprene depth through the arm, which helps again for the different aspects of swim running. And it also has an altered crotch design, which allows for much easier running when you're actually wearing that wetsuit, because let's not forget, you never take the legs off when you're in between the swim run segments.
Quite important.
So, yeah, so it just sounds like a really good bit of kit, and looking forward to hopefully giving that a try.
Yeah, a really nice looking bit of kit as well. We've also got a new product from our partner channel, Polar, and this is their Polar Ignite watch. Now, this is a relatively reasonably priced watch. It comes in under $200, and it's packed full of a whole bunch of new features that Polar haven't actually had on their other watches, including their more advanced watches like the Vantage V, and other brands for that matter. These are brand new features. So one is called their Nightly Recharge. That looks at how well you recover overnight from your day's training. Sleep Stages Plus, or Sleep Plus Stages, sorry, and that does a really in-depth analysis of your sleep overnight and gives you feedback on that. And all of this then helps another feature which is called their Fit Spark. Now this is really exciting because it actually can dictate your training for the next day depending on how well you're recovering. So if you had a hard workout planned for the next day, it'll be able to tell you, actually, you're not good to go for that. No. You need to dumb that down a little bit or ease it down. You need to recover, you need to stretch and whatnot. So ultimately making sure that you are progressing at a better rate because you're actually, ready for the session.
That's a brilliant function. Looking forward to giving that a test.
Well, now a chance to take a look through all of the photos that you've been sending in to us. And do excuse us that we've got our phones out. We are sort of out and about. We don't have our laptops with us. But first one, sent in by Michael from Maryland, USA, and just trying to get to Kona, he said. And this is a fantastic pain cave, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if he's trying to get to Kona, he's going about it the right way, if you ask me. He's got his felt IA there on his kinetic trainer. He's got a couple treadmills in the background, one with an incredible screen by the looks of it. He's got a weights rack, he's even got a weights bench in the back there. There's all sorts, isn't there?
And a Peloton watt bike, which is almost a bit like a watt bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, an amazing setup, really.
Big space, so thanks for sharing that, Michael.
Enough screens.
Yeah. Talking about screens, we're on to one that Bjorn Egil sent in from Norway.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm quite interested to know the size of this screen. It's practically the whole wall, but they've got...
I'm not sure what's on the screen, Mark.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, picture you and me.
They've got their Fuji Norcom on the turbo trainer there, one of the Tax Turbos trainers with their treadmill beside it, and
got
also
a fan for keeping cool, and
yeah, also looks like a little sofa setup, almost like a meeting room for.
I wasn't sure if it was even a little cinema. I mean, it's just it's really a great looking room.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, another one.
He also wishes you good luck for Norseman.
Oh. Very kind of him.
And he did his first 70.3 today in 70.3 Norway, so I hope that went well.
Yeah, fantastic. Do let us know in the comment section below how that went. Ian from Keswick has sent in a photo of him running. He's very proud because he has knocked 39 minutes off of his last year's time in the Lakesman, which is a pretty tough triathlon. Yeah,
I've heard a lot about it, but nice thing that he says there is he said he managed to do it a lot of part because of our training videos.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is a really nice thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
time of 5:27. That sounds pretty good to me.
Especially in a tough course like the Lakesman, so good work.
Definitely. And a final one sent in here is from Mitch from Fort Worth in Texas.
You know I'm going to like that.
I know you are.
maybe I snuck that one in there.
So it's a Trek Speed Concept Project 1 paint finish on this bike.
Lovely green.
It really is quite striking, isn't it?
Yeah, really like it.
Finished off with some Irwin wheels, which we're not familiar with, are we?
No, so please let us know about them if you want to.
Yeah, and yeah, a disc on the back, obviously. They've given us a list of the whole lot, actually. They've got the Bontrager saddle, the Lucchio pedals, a Pioneer power meter,
all the aero bits and pieces, aero bottle, an elite bottle there for storing gels.
Practically a pro bike here.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lovely bike and fantastic photos. Please do keep sending them in using our photo uploader. The link for that is in the description below this video. Honestly, it's so simple. You can send in.
And we love
anything you like.
Through them.
Anything. We're out for a Caption competition. Fraser, you brought the cap rope?
You said you'd pack it.
No, you definitely...
Oh, sorry guys.
Yeah, sorry. We don't have a cap this week, but if you do win, you do get a swimming cap. Sorry about that. Last week we had a fantastic photo from the Ironman 70.3 European champs in Elsinore. Two cyclists looking like they were about to collide. Obviously they weren't. But...
Loads of good pictures came out of that race, so this is one of them. And our first one from Ladin Sinovich is the usual sort of crash type comments. We've got a lot along those lines, but he says, bike helmet testing, road edition.
Yeah, Neil Hauser said, you're going the wrong way. No, you're going the wrong way.
I like that one. Then we have Ivan said, split second before the triathlon universe was created. Quite like a bit of a reference towards splitting the atom.
Yeah. And then Fabian Summer said, when you got amazing stats on your cycle computer.
It does look like they're both trying to see each other, doesn't it? Yeah.
Which one should we go for?
I quite like that last one. What do you think?
Yeah, that and the universe one, very imaginative.
Or can we send two?
Gotta go for it. Let's go for that last one as you first pick that out. So Fabian Summer, you are the winner. Do get in touch on Facebook or in the comment section below. We'll get that cap sorted for you. But now for this week's Caption Comp photo, and we're actually picking one from Ironman Nice, and good friend of the channel, James, who's in on the channel in the show actually a couple of weeks ago. And this is him taking a selfie down the finish line.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see. It's a fantastic win for James. So it looks like he's really lapping up and enjoying that whole finish line moment there with the commentator coming down the line. So please let us know what you think the appropriate caption would be. What do you think?
Don't put me on the spot.
Yeah. We'll leave all your comments down there. Right, well that brings us to the end of our show from here in Frankfurt. I hope you have enjoyed our step-by-step race analysis as the race unfolded. We've certainly had a great time watching the athletes do their thing in this, albeit extremely difficult, hot conditions. I mean, it has been a hot day, hasn't it?
It really has. Now, I'm sure some of you out there have been actually capitalizing on this and enjoying this hot weather and getting some good training in. So if you have, please do send those photos in or let us know what you've been up to in the comment section below. Or perhaps if it maybe didn't go quite so well in the heat and you did struggle, also good to hear those stories too. If you've enjoyed today's show, please do hit the thumbs up button just below. And if you'd like to see more videos from the channel, you can just click on the globe and subscribe. And don't forget, we do also have a shop here on GTN, so you can get hold of all the stash that we're wearing, including running gear as well. So And to go to that, you can just click the shop icon on the screen right now.
Yeah, and if you want to see a video that we did from here in Frankfurt, where we had a little bit of a battle looking at the tech in the expo, well, you can find that here. But if you do watch that, please let us know who you think won that battle.
And if you'd like to see our Ironman Frankfurt preview, I know it's post-race, but you may be interested to see just what actually it entailed, then you can watch that by clicking just down here.